It is high availability. Clustering is used in high availability. So today's chapter is about understanding of clusters. Clustering. Just like all other technologies that we have learned, we learned one word for that technology. So starting with DHCP. What is one word for DHCP?
Automatic IP address.
Automatic assignment of IP address. Do we remember?
Yeah.
Tim, do we remember?
Automatic IP
Okay.
address.
So DHCP is to
Assigning.
automatic assignment of IPs. DNS, name resolution. DNS is name resolution. Active Directory. Authentication. Why? I mean, you guys don't know.
Authentication.
It is authentication. Do we know? Okay, it is Active Directory is used for authentication, and we went through huge details understanding these products. Other than this, so clustering. Today we are doing clustering, guys. Clustering is a word for high availability. Clustering is one word, high availability. Wherever clustering is used, it is used for high availability. Now, what is high availability? Guys, it is a high availability of a server. It is a high availability of a server. Now, if the server is available, guys, I want you to stop your labs, completely stop your labs, and I want all your attention here on the board, please. So availability, what high availability are we talking about? This is a high availability of servers. This is a high availability of servers. Now, high availability of server. Let's forget the word high and just talk about availability. These servers are very important to be available. These servers are very important to be available in a company for how long? So these servers nowadays, since it's an era of cloud technology, and in cloud technology, so can we live without Gmail nowadays, or can we live without email nowadays? So many people have accounts in Gmail, many other people have account in Yahoo Mail or MSN or Live Mail. We cannot live without so Gmail servers must be up for how long? 24/7, 365. Servers should not, the service should not go down. So these servers must be available, and that's the same case. That's the same case for any other organization within any country, internationally throughout the world. So Rogers, Bell, Dell, they have thousands and thousands of servers. So all three of the big organizations, all there are other organizations, they all have servers more than 8,000 nowadays. More than 8,000 servers. 8,000, I'm just saying that 8,000 could be, I mean, that's a safe figure, but all companies have more than 8,000 servers. BMO has more than 30,000 servers. They have 30,000 servers in there. So servers, what servers are giving these organizations, servers are providing services to the organization. That's why servers are installed in these organizations. So Bell, Rogers, Dell, they have important services that are run by these servers, and for that reason, since their important services are being run by the servers should be available. Is that understandable? It's a very simple concept. The servers should be available. Now, like all of these servers, there are some servers that are considered as critical servers. Not all servers are critical, but some servers are considered as critical. So for example, I would say server types could be, there are critical servers, and then there are some non-critical servers. What are we understanding, guys? We are understanding the concept of clustering. And within clustering, one word is, what is one word for clustering? High availability. What availability are we talking about? We are talking about the availability of a server. And why a server needs to be available? Because important services depend on that server. Now, when we talk about servers classification, they are mainly of two types, critical servers and non-critical servers. Now, how do companies decide which servers are critical and which servers are not critical? So, out of 8,000, not all 8,000 are critical. Not all 8,000 are critical. So, there are critical servers are those servers that directly impact the business. So, all companies, companies like Rogers or Bell or Dell or maybe Canadian government or any organization, they think about where they can save money. So they're not into technology, but they're into making money and saving money. Now, in order to save money, they can save money if the servers are all the time available. Because if the servers are available, their services are running.
Yeah.
What lab are you doing?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm just changing the
Okay.
computer number.
Okay. I need your time. I know this is very simple at the moment, but it's gonna get very complex in few minutes. So
copy the notes or should we?
yes, you can keep on copying note, but don't do the lab yet. So you can write down anything, you can understand, ask me questions, stop me anywhere. But this very simple concept is going to be very complex in few minutes. So if you lose me, then you won't be able to understand the concept. So let's do it one more time. Guys, today we are doing the concept of TIM. Not the concept of TIM, the concept of high availability cluster. I know you're very keen to run that lab.
Yeah.
But we'll wait. I'll help you out with the lab. Okay, let's understand this. So here. Today we are understanding what?
Cluster.
Clusters. And one word for cluster is?
High availability.
What high availability? It's the availability of the server. And when we talk about availability of a server, guys, think of the services in any organization, So let's say Rogers. Rogers have many applications. Rogers is providing, what is Rogers' main role? They give TV services, they provide cell phone services, home phone services, and so on, and internet. But in order to provide these to the end users, they have hundreds of services running here. These all services make up Rogers to sell this to end users. Okay? And these all services are hosted on these servers. And this is where we are. This is where they hire system admin. This is where they say, you know what, if a system admin knows Microsoft, if a system admin knows Citrix, VMware, we're going to hire a person who knows more technologies as compared to a person who's specialist of just one technology. So nowadays, companies are looking for people with many different technologies. So here, we are here, system admin, and our responsibility is to make these servers available 24/7, 365. In order to make them available, what we do a lot of things to make them available. We do a lot of things. But then, guys, we need to understand that not all servers are critical to the business, but there are some servers that are critical, some servers are non-critical. Now, how do the companies decide? There are many different factors that affect this, but a major their focus is the servers that impact direct the revenue, that impact the business. The server, due to that server down, the company is immediately facing a loss. So those servers are considered as critical servers. And the servers that doesn't impact the business directly, they're not considered as critical. They're not considered as critical, they're considered as non-critical. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be up. They should be available. But it's not very important for those servers to be available. For example, I'll give you an example. For example, Active Directory servers, DC is a critical server. DCs are critical server. DNS is our critical servers. DHCP, very critical server. Other than this, what other servers? So there are sales servers. The servers that are running sales application for Rogers or for Bell, they are critical servers. Let's say for hospitals, their complete hospital system. People, the doctors are logging in somewhere, right? And their all data is stored on these servers. So those servers are critical servers. For example, if those servers are down, where they're keeping patient information, it's a critical. It's a critical. They won't be able to register a patient, or they won't be able to get the history of a patient. So those servers are considered as critical server. Now, what are non-critical server? Non-critical server may be print server, a server that is connected to printers. A print server is not a critical. So, for example, if one print server is down, that won't affect the business directly. That won't affect the business. You can have another. You can wait for that printing. You can wait, but it's not a showstopper, right? What other server? Let's say maybe just
Fax.
just a file share, maybe. Yes, fax is a very good example. Nowadays, actually, there are no fax server, but we used to have fax servers before. So fax server is also not a critical server. So meaning these servers should be up, but they shouldn't be highly available. They shouldn't be highly available. So highly available on a clustering technology we use for critical servers. So meaning now, when you try to provide high availability to something, when you try to provide what? High availability to something, guys, always remember this high doesn't come without a cost. You have to, your company has to spend more money. And when many companies, and even in these large companies, well, Dell is a technology company. Roger and Bell, they're not IT companies. Their focus is TV channels and this and that. So they are very reluctant to spend money on IT. So when IT managers goes to them, then they say, okay, we need $1 million for our IT department. Why? Because we are making it highly available. The very first response will be, no, they will reject the budget. So everybody wants to save money, they don't want to, but when you want to do high availability, it comes with a cost. Okay? Now, first of all, just one more time, understanding. Today we are understanding the concept of high availability. When understanding a concept of high availability, Microsoft provides us with these two types of high availability, two types of clustering option available. So clustering option available, which is, number one is NLB. So I'm going to say here, clustering is of two types. Clustering is of two types. Number one is known as NLB. Second one is known as failover. And that is basically the two lessons we have. One is configuring failover clustering. Second is network load balancing. Now before going into details of how do you configure NLB, how do you configure failover, and how do we work with this, we need to understand the concept of clustering. Now in clustering is mostly for the purpose of high availability. Now my question to you is, do you want to provide high availability to all 8,000 servers? Or only the most critical server? So what we do is, yes, only critical server. Even from critical servers, we select the most critical servers. The most critical servers. Not just critical servers, most critical servers. Why? Because when you are creating a cluster, when you are creating a cluster, that would require more budget for that server, not only one time, but yearly. Yearly, it will be double budget. It will be double budget for that technology. Okay, since now we do understand the concept of clustering. Okay, so clustering is basically provided to make these servers highly available. Then what we do whenever you're trying to make a cluster, what we do is, we first of all list out servers that, okay, these are my critical servers, these are non-critical servers, and among critical servers, we would list out the most critical servers and then cluster them. Okay? So clustering, so the word clustering is just for servers. It's not for desktops. It is not for Windows 7. It is not for Windows 8. It is only for, it is a server's technology. It is for Server 2003, it is Server 2008, Server 2012, it is a server's technology, it's not a desktop technology. Okay, so now since we have a little bit idea of clustering, what clustering is. Now let's understand, let's write a one-liner for the word clustering. Now clustering.
Can you say the clustering is the filtration of
critical and non-critical? No. We can't say that this is actually our analysis. And then once we decide which servers are most critical, then we'll apply clustering on them. But for clustering, you can just say clustering is used for high availability of servers. Clustering is used, so here I'm going to write that in one line. Actually, I'm going to come back to this later. Let me write a one-liner for this. So clustering is used for providing high availability of two servers, and in bracket we can say critical servers or services. Critical servers or services. Clustering can be provided to services or servers. Now, how do we do clustering? What is clustering in technical language? This is for understanding purposes. Now, the second thing we need to understand is clustering is a grouping of servers. Clustering, how do you do clustering? How do we do clustering? How do we configure clustering? How do we configure clustering? So we configure clustering by grouping servers. So clustering is grouping. Clustering is configured by grouping servers. Clustering is configured by grouping of servers. Now, what is grouping of servers? You have one server bring an identical same server, another server. I mean, clustering in real life would be you have one IT manager and bring another IT manager, exactly like this person. Now when you bring another IT manager, this is known as clustering. You clustered the IT manager. Now, what type of clustering is this? We're going to go into that detail, but clustering is just a grouping of same service. You can double the service, triple the service, or you can bring 6 same servers. So clustering is like this. Whenever the word clustering is used, you basically, first of all, will decide which server to be clustered. For example, take an example of KGG. How many of us heard of KGG? Everyone heard of KGG. You never heard. It's a lie. It's a white lie. You have heard. So KGG, what is KGG? KGG, it's a website. It's a website. And how many hits does this website is getting? 1 million per day, more than 1 million per day. If you look at, there are many websites where you can see the stats for other websites. This website is getting more than 1 million hits per day, and this is why website is expensive. If somebody wants to buy this website right now, they'll sell it maybe for millions. Won't be billion, but it will be for sure million. Why WhatsApp? Why WhatsApp was sold for 9 billion? Why?
9 billion. Right?
Yes, 9 billion. It was. So why was it sold for? Because it had that many hits. It has that many customers throughout the world. Now, one thing that we need to understand: the more famous the website, the more complex infrastructure it has in the background. So yes, it's easier to say, you know what, this is KGG. This is KGG.com, and this website is getting 1 million hits. So 1 million people are searching there every day, all the time. So it's getting 1 million. But what is in the background? This website is basically sitting on all these servers here. For KGG, these are all critical servers. So the service that provides this service are all web servers. So these web servers are considered very critical. I'm sure they'll be considered as very critical. They'll be considered very critical for them. And these all critical servers will be in a cluster. Now, why are they in a cluster? Because these servers are critical for the company. Why is it critical for the company? Because millions of people are connecting to the server. So I am very sure maybe 20 years back when KGG was started, there used to be maybe few hits to this server. Few people used to go there. So let's say it might have started from here. So let's say an example of KGG.com. Example of KGG.com. Let's say it started with just a one website. So let's say I'm going to create a website here. Users are accessing this website that is basically sitting on a server in a data center. We all know what data center is. Data center is a place where all the servers exist. So this website might be sitting in some data center. So this is called a data center. And in data center, it is sitting on only one server. This is one server. Let's say in our case, it is server 2012. And how can you host this website? All you need to do is one simple role on this. So do we know that servers have role inside? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I can hear everyone, guys.
Yes.
Yes. So there are some roles in here. And what are the roles? Can you name any one role, Heather? ADDS. ADDS is one role. Can you name another role?
DHCP, DNS.
DHCP one role. So DHCP is another. DNS is another role. Right? There are many roles inside. How many roles are there? Total of 17 roles. There are 17 roles in Server 2012. Tim, how many roles are there?
17.
17 roles. Good listening. So 17 roles. Guys, the role that is responsible for the website is known as web server role. It is known as web server. So all you need to do in order to host a website like KGG in your server, all you need add this role inside and this website will be sitting here.
Web server.
It becomes a web server. Now, when they started it, 100% there might be not so many users. So what they did, they started marketing it. When they started marketing this website, question?
So who's making more money, web designer or the server administrator?
Not the web designer, not the server administrator, the owner. Web designer, they're just making.
No, just I'm talking about technically.
The owner of this company.
No, for sure.
I mean, they can hire a web designer maybe let's say for a 70,000 per year. They can hire a system admin for 80,000 a year, but this guy is earning millions. So when it talks about money making, that's just the owner of the
So it means
website.
that we have to create a website and.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you should create a website. You should create maybe a hosted website. Just leave it there. Maybe after 10 years, it might be your lucky charm. Yeah, websites are sitting there. If you're doing right marketing in the right place. So for example, KGG is here. Maybe you can select any other country and start marketing that, buy and sell in that. It is a business. Internet business is about to be 400,000 more than what it is at the moment. 400,000. Sorry, 400%. Sorry about that. 400% by 2020. It is set. So you're going to have 400% more customers than what you have now. So meaning more websites are required, more things are required. So whoever can enter into these, I mean, these are all internet services. I'm not making it, it's all written. Okay, let's think of clustering. What are we learning today? Clustering. What is one word for clustering?
High availability.
High availability. What is a high availability of what? Servers. These servers must be available. And how do you decide that which servers should be highly available? Based on critical or non-critical. But critical servers are said to be those servers that directly impact the business. So for hospital, it's their patient information server. For Air Canada, it could be their customs application, the server, there are critical servers. For Bell, for Rogers, it could be their call center servers. Remember, when you call Rogers, they pick up the phone and they have that application running, they know what you have, and if you don't have that, they will offer it. So if those servers are down, it's all about getting, so let's look at it. We're taking an example of KGG and we're discussing clustering here. So let's say 15 years back they started this website and they might have started maybe 20 years. So 15 years back they started, and they had only 2 people to look at the website. But it started getting famous in few years. So in few years they got now thousands, not millions. Now what happens is, guys, now where I'm going, my point is, why do we need clustering for this server? Why do we need clustering for this server? So for this server, they don't need clustering yet. So it used to be 5 people accessing the website, meaning 5 people go through the website, and there is just a 5 people load on this server. And then it changed to 500 people accessing the website, and then it changed to 5,000 people accessing the website. It's just links. People are accessing the website, and it is just running a search engine. It has a database. But as soon as it hit 500,000 people accessing the website, now there will be many users. They will start complaining. They would say, you know what, this guy would say, when I try to connect to kgg.com, it just gives me page cannot be loaded. And this guy would say, you know what, when I try to search anything, it's very slow. Now why? Because they have only one server, and there is a huge load on this. Do we understand this point? So if you have less number of users, then there is no load on this. But if there are more users doing searches here, then they're going to have more load. So this is where they will start thinking of clustering. Now what is clustering? So the very first type of clustering that I'm going to discuss is known as failover clustering. That is lesson number 1. So failover clustering, so very first clustering we're going to discuss is failover clustering. Now failover clustering, since we are on a website example, so I'm going to first discuss NLB. NLB stands for, so here, let me write it here. Clustering, so we'll keep that example, we'll run with that example, but here, just let's write few lines here. Clustering is of 2 types. In both type of clustering, we are grouping servers. In both clustering, we need at least 2 or more servers. We can have 64 servers lined up together. I mean, it's the same case of we have 1,000 CC cards, or we can have 3,000 CC cards. Or if we go back in history, there used to be those carts with horses, right? So if you have 2 horses compared to 8 horses cart, which cart would run faster? Obviously, Gary's answer is 2 horses cart will run faster, but I would say it's 8 horses cart. So Gary, I knew your answer. So it is the same type of situation, guys, here. Now let's say, in order to fix this issue, are we here on this issue? Are we all on the same page? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, are we on the same page?
Yes.
So let's look at this here.
Yes,
so
sir.
this server is getting slow, number 1. So some people are saying it's slow, and some people page cannot be even found. And is this a loss of revenue for this company?
Loss.
Yes, it is. Why? Because they are losing their customer. And guys, the website business, in a website business, it is sad if you're not able to get attention of a user within first 5 seconds. User will be gone. This is what happens. I mean, this is what we do every day. If the website is not giving me what I need, in first few seconds, I'm gone. I move on to another website. So in website business, it's very important.
So how do you make money in this? How do they make money?
So we're gonna come back to this. Here,
Okay.
I'm gonna park.
We'll teach you how to make money.
I'm gonna park this here. How
to?
to make money from website, and
That's
I'm gonna
right.
come back to this.
That's right.
I'm gonna come back. I'll show you how we
Okay.
can make money. Okay, so let's come back here. Now, if they're losing customers, definitely they're gonna leave KGG and they're gonna go to Craigslist. They're gonna go on to other websites. But the way KGG is working, what they thought of future and they clustered their server. Now, what is NLB? It's of 2 types. Number 1 is known as NLB, and NLB stands for Network Load Balancing. Network Load Balancing. Now the word network load balancing, it defines itself. It's a type of clustering that is balancing the network load. It's very simple. It is balancing the network load. It is network load balancing. So network load balancing, this type of clustering is mostly 99.9% is used for websites. This type of clustering is not used for any other thing. Mostly 99.9% NLB is used to load balance network traffic, network or website traffic. So NLB is mostly used to basically load balance a website traffic. 99.9% it is used for website, but in maybe 1% might be used for some other services as well. But network load balancing is basically to load balance the networking, the website. Now, how does this fit in here? All you need to do is bring exactly the same server here. Which is exactly this server. Now this server, as soon as you bring this server here, one request will be sent here, the other request will be sent here. So basically you're balancing the load among two servers. I mean, it's the same case of in real environment. Let's say you have so many customers. So this is why when you go to TD Bank, you have few tellers sitting there. In some banks that are very, very busy, there are 5 tellers sitting there. In some banks, you have only 2 tellers there, where there is not too many. So it's the same case. They are doing network load balance. They are doing NLB. In TD Bank, they are doing NLB. In CIBC, when you go into the bank, you have 5 people sitting there, and there is a huge line. They will keep on increasing. That is known as NLB. NLB is nothing but balancing your load. It's a bad. So in this case, the best possible solution for this is to bring a NLB cluster. Now, since first of all you are about to make a cluster, what is the first quality of a cluster? Clustering is configured in a group of servers. So first of all, you need to bring new servers. Clustering cannot be done without 2 or more servers. So you must have at least 2 or more servers. I mean, depending on how much load is there, you can bring either one server, or you can bring either 2 more servers. So altogether there are 3 servers. Now, when the user will be connecting, first user will be sent to first server, second will be sent here, third will be sent here, and likewise 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 11th, and this is how the load is balanced. In some cases, you can have. Now your question is how many servers you can group together in NLB. So in server 2012, if the servers are 2012, you can go up to 64 servers. 64 servers working together. Okay? But you won't see huge big clusters like this. The maximum I have seen is a 16 node cluster. Maximum. Now, so 16 servers working together as a network load balancer.